It's a little early in the morning, the sun isn't up, but that's okay. We have a new Civic Type R. Over at the Honda media page, next-gen Civic Type R is ready for Nürburgring testing. Well, they don't have a lot to say about it. We'll read it in a little bit, but let's go over the images because that's really all we have today. And that's okay. All right. Now, I'm just coming fresh off of the Civic sedan review, and then I'll be going to the Civic hatchback first drive here in a little bit. So there's a lot of Civic stuff going on the channel, and I'm excited to bring you this Type R. Looks like we have Brembo brakes up front. Now, the overall styling design looks really similar, of course, to the Civic hatchback, and we'll flip around to this image in a little bit, but the headlights look the same. Really only the difference that I can see behind this crazy camo is we have a mesh pattern grille. Now we're also going to have a variant of the mesh pattern grille on the upcoming hatchback, but this is much more fence-like, much more porous. It looks like chicken fence down here. It's just like a mesh pattern. Obviously, you can see the intercooler down here for the turbocharged engine. And we'll talk about powertrains here at the end because we don't know what's exactly going to be in there, but we can probably take a stab at it. And then the bottom, we have some, I don't know, fairly aggressive side skirts, a little fin at the back. And then speaking of the back, let's just get to the business back here. Look at the triple exhaust. That's kind of sticking around. It looks great. I just think it's a staple of the Civic Type R at this point. So it looks excellent. You can see the diffuser here at the bottom, really aggressive how it rakes down. Maybe some slits in the bumper here, but it could just be reflectors. It's kind of hard to tell. And then the hatchback, here's the windshield wiper. Doesn't look that posh here on the hatchback. It looks kind of like a sore thumb sticking out. But the wing, how can you not? I mean, that's obviously the first thing that you see is the massive wing on the new Civic Type R. It looks like it'll pop right up with the hatch. So as you raise the hatch, the spoiler will go up with it. And that's about it. I mean, we do have a little gill here, it looks like. It looks smaller. I just looked at an image of the previous Type R and it looked like it takes up more of the fender here, while the gill on the new one looks pretty minuscule in comparison. So I don't expect it to be as radical looking as the 10th generation Civic based Type R, but it's still going to be really good looking. And I don't know, I think the outgoing Civic Type R just had a little bit too much plastic and black plastic on the front. So I'm hoping the front end here isn't as over-styled as the outgoing Civic Type R, but what do you guys think? Are you excited? We'll go over powertrains a little bit, but let's see what Honda has to say about it in the press release. Not much. Development of the best performing Honda Civic Type R ever continues. The all new Civic Type R will be introduced in 2022. So there you go. I mean, that's kind of a surprise. I was thinking maybe 2023 because we just haven't really heard anything. So the rest is just kind of like talking about Honda, about their current situation and their, identity. But yeah, 2022, holy cow, stay tuned for the channel. I will be able to bring you guys hands-on driving impressions whenever it is, available in 2022. But let's get into the spreadsheet. So I'm actually bringing up the Integra spreadsheet. I expect the Integra and the Civic, of course, to be based off of each other. Well, more so the Integra based off the Civic. And, people are saying, well, if the Civic hatchback is going to have a 6-speed manual, why can't the Integra? And I think that's a valid point. I think that's what a lot of people would like to see on a new Integra. Anyways, we're talking about Type R today, not Type S. Type S is going to be the Integra. Type R is obviously the Civic. Now, I think it's going to be the same inline-4 turbo that we have with 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque with a 6-speed manual. I don't think it's going to be all-wheel drive yet. I think if you want the all-wheel drive sort of performance from the Civic, you'll have to go the Integra, and that's going to be available in a hybrid. And there has been rumors swirling around that they're going to take this inline-4 turbo with 306 horsepower, hybridize it, put 2 electric motors in the rear, so you have real torque vectoring on the rear axle. But I don't think that's going to be this generation. I think that will be next generation. And at that point in time, I don't know if it's going to be more so based off this 1.5 liter or 2 liter. It would be hard to say. But yeah, I'm expecting it to be the exact same powertrain as we had before. Manual only, front wheel drive only, around 300 horsepower, which is not a bad thing because the new Civic is top to bottom a better car, a better driving car than the outgoing Civic. And this should be the Type S, I'm hoping for anyways, the hybrid with the super handling all-wheel drive. Real torque vectoring in the rear possibly, but it could have an electric motor in the front and one in the rear. Just give it a little bit more power, around 250 horsepower here. All-wheel drive, 6-speed manual, fingers crossed, but they could put a DCT in it of some sort, whether it's a 10-speed or 8-speed DCT, or they could just put the new 10-speed automatic sport transmission that we see in the new TLX Type S and the MDX Type S. And no, they're not going to put the 3-liter single turbo V6 in either of those Civic based vehicles. It's just too big of an engine. But anyways, I'm gonna end it there. That was a surprise for me. Hopefully you guys are excited. The sun's not up and I'm facing the window. It gives you an idea. It's still 7 o'clock in the morning and I still need to drive the Tundra today. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the channel for future Honda Civic updates, hatchback, SI, Type R, Integra, etc. And of course, you guys obviously know I'm here for the Tundra. Anyways, I'll end it there. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and as always, peace out.